welcome, Divine. Welcome. I am starting this recording at 3:33. I also saw a truck go by, 044. Masculine and feminine energy. Let's check in, you guys, and see what's happening. All right. So we have to look at what we're beginning as a revelation. So many of you are getting this revelation is what I'm seeing. This isn't just a revelation. This isn't a small revelation, and this isn't a revelation of just a few people. This revelation is happening to many people, and the revelation that is happening is your... You remember I told you I was here for your gifting? Hello. All right, so you're starting to feel the intensity of knowing, okay? So you're starting to know about people deeply in ways that you didn't know before. Okay, and these are close people to you. These are people that you've had really, really close. And these are people, even I'm getting some of you do have some afar. One of the biggest things that's coming out is that you have your family connections, of course, your friendship connections, then your organizational connections, and then we do have some of you who have also have a revealing in your relationship, intimate partnership. But a lot of that happened early on. And just understand, also in your unions or whatnot, you might just have maybe like a revealing or so in a separation period and things of that sort. Shouldn't be long or any of that. But we're talking about, when I mentioned before about the veil coming down, now you're starting to understand what that really means when the veil comes down. You're really connecting the dots of who's who. Some of you are connecting the dots of who's who in your past when it came to trauma situations, when it came to pain, when it came from those hurtful experiences that we transmuted in the past. You remember that? Introduction to pain transmutation. Going back to around the childhood age. I think we went in around 6 or 7. Some of you now are going younger to where you're picking up information, but not only you're picking up information younger that is in the energy right now that a lot of you are recognizing with those that you work with and with yourself. You're connecting the dots as to who's who. And what I mean by that is that the current people that are in your life, you're reflecting back to the role that they had previously in your life. And it's almost like, can we count that as past life? Yeah, because you're not living that now. So that is what seems to be happening, that you're getting revelations about, that starts out when we see here in this card, and it's heavy, and it's really giving you the biggest instruction of your life. And the biggest instruction that I'm getting is right here where we're anchoring in, and you're like, what is that settled love, that unwavering? What is it to where I can see what is that and what isn't that? And what you're getting right now is the unplugs that you had in your life that kind of caused you to confuse things. It's almost like this is the way I saw things, the way I saw things, the way your perception was, the way your perception was because these people that you're connecting the dots with, you really didn't know they were the way they are. So it's almost like a big surprise, like, oh my gosh. It's basically what's happening is like messiness, and you're actually seeing the players in it all. You're seeing what's being said. You're seeing how it's being said. You're seeing the need of that person to kind of show up. I'm surprised like the scammering of the rats doesn't actually come out here, because you can actually see that impression. But what does come out here is the laying of the cards. But these laying of the cards that come out here, it's not only that you're able to see everything, you're seeing seeing the dark and the light, so you can see your pathway out. But you're also seeing, okay, well, why this person has had the experiences that they've had. And some of you are being relieved from guilt boats and obligation boats, because you're starting to see the character of the person that's being laid out here in the cards. And the character of that person being laid out is like, oh my gosh, what they're experiencing is universal law of cause and effect. Cause and effect is what keeps happening in that person's life, which is the embedded universal law in which karma bases itself out of. So you're recognizing the universal law of cause and effect that's been working in a person's life, that you felt a strong responsibility, guilt, obligation, and a linking to, that was kind of bringing you down in a lot of low vibrational spaces. Well, all of the cards have been laid out for freedom right now. So you're really understanding how to get in that settled place, because you're starting to really recognize that your perception had a poison base to it. And it's like I was fed the wrong information. This is why I was acting the way I was acting. This is the way I was seeing things the way I was seeing them. A lot of you are unplugging what was the issue with your relationships all along. And you're starting to recognize, I didn't come from relational people. You're like, they didn't really relate well. And them not being able to relate well put you in a place where you started relating in ways of expecting certain things or thinking certain things in relation that just wasn't the case. And now the cards are being laid out, and almost like you're recognizing that you would make a big deal about certain things and not make a big deal about other things. So that's very clear. Let me see if there's anything else. All right. So what is necessarily being brushed off? So I'm going to actually go to another deck and see what's being brushed off here. All right. So we have 2 coming out. Okay. With both of these coming out in the way that they've come out, it's actually illustrating to us something very, very different. So when we look at this Knight and we look at this Empress that comes out, and this comes out in the Angel cards, and it's telling basically that you're brushing off something, but you're brushing off something very specific. Oh, wow. The perception base that you had and kind of the obligation that you had and responsibility that I'm getting, that you're recognizing, that's been illuminated with these certain individuals, has actually hindered you in going to your full interest. The full things that you have the ability to have serviceability in and really give birth to your dreams and desires. You've actually been brushing off your dreams and desires, almost like you've been holding on and trying to take these specific, and this is what it is. You've been holding on and trying to take these specific individuals with you on the ascension journey, and you're having to release. And who is able to grow, set their goals, overcome their past traumas, overcome their pains, deal with their present moment, transmute their situations, transform their lives, become real inner and out, recreate those lives in that way. Whoever is able to do that, then they're able to do that, okay? And there's honor to those who can do that. But you are getting kind of like a slam in the buddy pass system, almost like, I'm getting almost like, that person tried to go through the side door. There's no buddy systems here. So what's happening is that this person stayed so close to you A lot of these people that you couldn't necessarily see it like you are able to see it now. And you're starting to see that it did serve as some distractions. So really what you guys are chunking here within this last little crunching of this end of year energy. And just know that some resolve with a lot of it will be happening going into the first of the year as well, where to be the resolve and the relief, and you're actually going into yourself. So don't worry. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm handling all this and I'm down to the end of the wire. Well, you know, there's the universe is so generous, okay? It's so generous in its support in allowing you. We have so much divine, beautiful support. Okay, and see, we come out with the 10 of Pentacles. So you are heading into a foundational place here on earth in which you're able to actually have things, have that happiness, have that abundance, have that contentment, have some of that stuff that you set out there that you wanted for a very long time, but there wasn't an allowance of it. Almost because you were seeing yourself aligned with these people. You actually thought that you were like them. That's coming strongly for a message for someone. And they only allowed themselves to live a certain way, be a certain way, eat a certain thing, dress a certain way, show up a certain place. And you kind of got in a routine with that, which is why there's a little bit of breakup that's happening there, which is really, really beautiful, that's coming in. And it's now placing you in the place of exactly where you want, because it's like, I don't necessarily want to be in just the spiritual space as to what the abundance is coming in, that there's a reflection of well-being that is going to show up on the earth plane that I'm getting for those who are specifically hearing this message. Almost like you've been going without some of the things that you desire and that you need, and that you don't have to. But some of the things that you've been blocking off, you've been trying to figure out how you're going to explain it to those who are around you. And it doesn't have to be about some lavish material, but some of you have just wanted to make some transitions in certain areas, and you just haven't figured out how are you going to explain those transitions. And the reason why you hadn't figured out how you're going to explain those transitions is because you were having to brush it off. But now that you've seen the true nature, I'm getting the true tricksters that are around, you're starting to realize I'm not that impressed. And I've actually been suppressing myself. Whoa. And then here's the Queen of Swords position that is actually coming out. And this is really coming out to really show, okay? It's coming out to really show, hey, not only are you recognizing that you were brushing off your positioning, where you should be, what you should do, how it should go, and that there was a lot of division energy that was coming because you were actually aligning yourself with energy that was not aligned to where you were actually wanting to go. And that is okay in certain doses, but when you encompass yourself in energy that has a different current, then you're flowing in another direction. That's fine if that's where you want to go, but if that's not where you want to go, you really have to make some adjustments. I'm getting that in these situations, these adjustments do put you in the Queen of Swords position. Understand that is still a part of mastery. A part of mastery is being able to handle your world. What that means is that if you do see something that needs to be pruned by your sword, then you're able to go in and kind of clear out those weeds within your world. I'm having that in this situation. You did have to clear some things up. You did have to shed some light on some things. You did have to somebody had to shut the door, literally, but shut the door is what I'm getting. And they put a lock on it. I see some red fingernails. That was so relevant. I don't have them right now. So some red fingernails are significant to someone. But you really did have to go ahead and make those adjustments that were happening in your life, because you were not able to go in a direction that you were wanting to go to, because the energy that I'm getting that these alignments would bring into your life was pretty heavy. Yes, you can align with whoever you desire, and yes, you can transmute energy right on spot. But what I'm getting is that there was such a difference in the alignment of energy, because you were not, you didn't align in this bond in the full placing as to where you are. You were kind of shrink back. So at once you kind of go 100%, then it's almost like being in 3 feet of water, and then you kind of stand up, and it's like, yeah. We really don't align. I really have outgrown this. I really, I don't have the problems that you have. I don't have the situations that you have. Things are really different for me. Seems to be what's coming up pretty heavy there. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Queen of Wands. Death. Judgment. So that basically explains exactly what I just said not too long ago. So you are utilizing your insight. You are ending that in which does not serve you, that is going against the current. There is a strong judgment that is happening right now when it comes to your life, that is bringing you into new horizons that I'm getting. And I'm getting that this is a time to actually shift the deck and bringing this on out in clarification just a little bit more. I'm getting we want a universe card, commercial, but it is the death of, really, it's the death of playing small seems to be happening. It's almost like that in which you thought that you couldn't go without, you recognize you do not even need. Okay, so that was specifically coming through. And then you have the universe card that says it's not a matter of whether or not you can afford it, swing it, or handle it. It's a question of whether or not I can. And I can, the universe. So you are really recognizing different placements in your life. And this is why you're going through this cycle. And I know you're like, my gosh, right here down to the final placement. It's like, yes, generous. The opportunity for you to transform things, because what happens is that when you have experiences and things are not aligned the way you want, they do create these energetic imprints, and, we call them, well, this is the way I work, and I call them your soul imprints. And the work that I do is I'm able to actually look and see where those soul imprints actually are. And you think that they will just go somewhere, but they actually don't. They recreate themselves in karmic cycles, which means that they play out different scenarios, same wounding. And that would be an emotional wounding, that really just manifests itself in just a spiritual observation that you can actually just see it. And once you pinpoint it, you can really address it back to probably a very common traumatic experience of the person. And then they actually start to unplug this stuff. You're starting to relate in your relationship things that were connected to childhood experience, adolescent experiences, and things of that sort. You have throughout this past year of 2019 recognized so many things that you pulled out and healed within yourself. Now what's happened is those things that came out that you healed within yourself and you recognize within your life, you're connecting the dots. You're connecting the dots. And in connecting the dots, it's allowing you to show up a little bit differently. It's allowing you to say, I can. Now that you're seeing things, now that all the cards are laid out, it's like it's not, it's a question of whether or not I can. It's not a matter of whether or not I can afford it, swing it, or handle it. You actually now have a different perceptual view of your life now that you've stepped to the side and recognized that you were aligning yourself for keepsake. Now it's put you in a different position. Let's see. Angels and ancestor. Let's see what we get. All right. Beautiful enough, we end up getting Father Sky, trusting the unknown. Wow. All right, and I see the eagle, which is very symbolic because this is a flight position. This is where you actively see yourself flying over. Flying over a situation, which means you are actually seeing it. You see the people, you see the situation, and you see yourself in the eagle position flying over it instead of meddling within it. That is a position that many of you are in right now. You are seeing it so clear, and you are choosing not to engage in it in the level in which you did before at all. It's like it's not even touchable. Trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father. Know that He is lovingly leading you forward. When this comes in, it says Father Sky, and it's just a connection to all things, all things in that wonder and that, and God. For those of you who subscribe to God, God is my first title of everything and all that is and is to be. It is really just showing that, and it goes in and it says you are a co-creator of your life. And every thought, feeling, intention, and emotion you have is creating the road ahead. So this aligns with you are here, and then you are aligning with the extension of all that is. And it is highlighting your co-creative ability to rise above a situation and not get caught in the emotional pits that you did before, but to move in more of a mastery fashion. With that being said, you don't need to know every single detail of what is going to unfold before you. When this card appears, you are being guided to step back and get out of your own way, because there is a greater power that is not only around you but within you. The Father Sky is creating the best experience imaginable for you. Accepting this will allow miraculous energy to come into your life. So see things from a higher perspective, like the eagle on the card. This card can also appear when there are opportunities to improve the father connection in your life. If your father figure is in heaven, know that his spirit is drawing close. If he is on earth, there's an opportunity to heal something, whether past or present. I always like to add that tidbit because you don't know who's watching. That can also be an area around any type of what you would consider to be male figure. But not only that, there's also the healing of that is taking place on the planet that's moving in within 2020. Is that there is a big healing and advancement that is going to start happening when it comes to what is represented as the male on the planet. And of course, we are producing quite a bit with the masculine energy, is often known as the dominant energy that is in the males on the planet. But not only that, they do have feminine energy, of course, but we want it all in their balance. So we are definitely supporting in all of that on the planet, but it is going to show up quite a bit in the male population, that we'll begin to see so many changes and transformations that will look really drastic, only because the needle is being moved, and the needle hadn't been moved much at all. So it just looks so drastic when things start to happen in a way that they are starting to happen. Many of the arenas that were dominated by the female population, religions and spiritualities in place like that, will no longer be that place. And you can see in the spiritual communities the dominance that's coming through on the male side, and it's just heavily that's going to continue to be populated across the earth. This is a beautiful reading that I see here. This is to support those who are crossing over, okay? You are crossing over, And you're recognizing that all does not go. All that you used to be into, all that you used to align yourself to, and all that you used to do. This is what New Year's resolutions are birthed out of. It's a nice way of saying that some stuff you're going to have to let go anyway, so start choosing some stuff to get used to the energy. This is a good time with the planetary motions. There is so much happening right now. So this is a good time to really be grateful for the growth. Grateful for the ability to master being able to have releases this deep, to be able to heal past trauma, soul imprints this deep, to be able to reflect and see yourself this deep, to be able to have a life that feels so good and deep. This is a place of polarity. This is a place of dual energy. This is why we speak in a term of masculine and feminine energy. No matter what the bodysuit is, we are going into 2020 reporting the energy. I was not sure, but I've gotten the go ahead. So I will definitely be reporting the energy 2020 because I feel the energy to do it all of a sudden. All of a sudden, I know that there are some who will not be continuing to go on to report the energy, and that is understandable. Because as you report this energy, you align with the energy in order to report the energy, which means that you are transmuting on major speeds. Because you are guiding a collective of people, and if you lose sight of doing your own work, your own transmutation, your own elevations, your own utilizations of the energy that you're being exposed to, then it can't hang you up. It can hang you up in the body, It can hang you up in the mental and emotional space. It's all about being balanced. So this is about mind, body, and spirit alignment. Most of the earth is in full awareness of how to take their body somewhere and do something with their body. This is a way that you are really working on the alignment of mind and spirit and body and pulling everything together, allowing you to be within the front lines of the planet and the healing and alignment of the real self. Because when you are in alignment, then you know what you desire, you know what you want, you speak it, you do it, you walk it. Which means that the things that you bring into your life and are producing your life, you're able to, 1, enjoy them, 2, keep them longer, 3, manifest them quicker. So I look forward to this upcoming season with you guys, the Divine Union, where we do what? We get real. To do what? Align in our realness. To do what? Be real. How do we do that? Well, basically we feel. The planet is elevating to the baseline of 5th dimensional consciousness. Many of us report energy from 5th dimension and above consciousness. This channel is usually around 8D. I do go higher. We report in order for the earth to elevate in consciousness. Recognize that this is mental and emotional well-being. This is being healthy, y'all. This is being healthy, y'all. This is thinking about what you're doing. Being aligned with what you're doing. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing that you're checked into. Thank you for your participation on this channel. Thank you for subscribing up under me, and you'll enjoy 2020. I feel it. I feel me enjoying 2020. 2019, whew, I was in there. I was in there rowing. Now I know what it's all about. I was able to formulate some founded things, and I really just believe we'll be able to coast in, enjoy the energy, report it, see it for what it is. It's good to be in higher dimensions. It's good to be in higher dimensions when you start to deal with deeper things. You're above it. You're above it now. The golden mission is always union within self, then union with others. Easy, effortlessly. With self in mind makes that happen. Let's get real, guys. 2020, let's get real. See you there. Happy New Year. Thanks for rocking with me, Dr. Letitia Ray.